What's going on, everybody? Welcome to Real Combat. I am your host, Mick Manhattan. I am the Scene Snob. I'm the one that these two gentlemen have to convince that I should see their movie. So, how it works, two debaters step up. They each chose their own movie. We're doing a Halloween edition, so it's horror movies this time. So, they're going to debate. They're going to rebuttal each other, go through the whole thing, and I will decide based on their arguments what movie I'm going to be watching tonight. So, without further ado, I would like to introduce my guests, Mr. Michael Colby from The Real Boys. Welcome to the show, sir.
How are
And
you,
Mr.
Mick?
Casey Plott. I am doing great, man. Thank you for coming on. I appreciate it. I am excited because you guys know your movies, and uh, you're no stranger to horror movies, which I love. So I'm really like I was all day kind of like, man, I don't like surprises normally, and I really want to know what you guys are going to choose. But the whole point is I don't find out until now. So with that being said, I'm going to let you present your movies first. And I'm going to start with you, Mike, as Casey is my cohort all the time. And he knows the structure. I'm going to have the guest go first.
Okay,
pretty one.
I'm not too worried about it because I brought with me a movie that I think is criminally underrated. And this movie is from 1999. It stars Robert Carlyle and Guy Pearce. It is set in the Mexican American War, and it is called Ravenous. This movie took me by surprise because I never even heard of it before I saw it the first time, and I was like, I don't really know what I'm getting into. But this story is about a cannibal who finds shelter in like an off the grid like military base during the Mexican American War, and like we're secretly feeding people chunks of humans. It's sort of giving us superpowers, but it's also making us kind of go insane. We have some big huge fights where we're like falling off cliffs, and we're just, and then we start killing people. It is a glorious cannibal movie. It's shot beautifully. It's a like a time period piece. The acting is great, and it actually casts Native American people and Mexican people as what they are. So it's not like we're casting white people and then like tanning them up. So it's got all the things you want in a movie.
I will tell you this. I love your explanation of it. I've never seen it. It's always been on my radar. I've never actually seen it. So this is the first time we have a movie on the show that I haven't seen.
Awesome.
Now, you went really in depth with your explanation, so I can't wait to hear what your debate is going to be. But I'm going to go over to Casey first. And Casey, what have you chosen for tonight's show?
First of all, I'd like to thank you to the esteemed gentleman, the Scene Snob, and thank you to my esteemed colleague from the Real Boys. An honor to have you here, as I both respect your opinion and I'll find myself very in line with it. To this end, I offer my greatest gratitude and generally exceeding platitudes at the chance to exchange parlance over a respectful salvo at one another in delightful discord.
Man, dude, it's called Real Combat. Like, you're too smart for this show.
The movie I've selected that, Mick, I think you absolutely must decide to watch this evening would be Army of Darkness. The reason for that is it's one of my favorites. It takes me back to a wonderful place. During these times of stress, which we are all going through, it's nice to have something that allows us to relax a bit and, kind of get that off our chest. It's also a fantastic cautionary tale that explores the greater depths of humanity from the most commoner's point of view. Basically just an idiot who doesn't know how to read or speak properly. So it's really during this time, I think, that we need to watch a movie like this that reminds us that that's okay. It's been around forever since medieval times. So I highly recommend you watch Army of Darkness. That's the one I will be focusing my argument towards this evening.
2 period pieces. I like it. I'm torn because I know I've always wanted to see Ravenous. I've just is one of those movies that always like surpassed me. But it's Army of Darkness. So this is going to be a good fight because I don't know what I want right now. I'm like a kid in a candy store. Like, this is too much. What do I do? All right. So I'm going to shut up. I'm going to let you. Well, Casey, you're going to go first because your movie is older. And then also anybody who's watching, please vote in the comments. Let us know what you think, but listen to the arguments first. Let's do this and we'll check back with you before I make my final decision. All right, Casey, the floor is yours, sir.
I'd like to present to you the apex of both horror comedy and some of the finest work known to man ever placed on film before. Tonight, I recommend to you Army of Darkness. I return to this film as preferring a Sam Raimi film in the mood for an Evil Dead, maybe his masterpiece, Evil Dead 2. Perhaps even Drag Me to Hell. After watching all of them, the camera angles just always bring me back, and I, for some reason, stumbled into Army of Darkness. This 1992 endeavor, starring the dashing Bruce Campbell as Ash, favorite character among some of us mere mortals, the enigmatic Embeth Davidtz, and the prowess of Grove and Gilbert, back and forth, their repertoire being fantastic. It's a delightful mix of comedy, massive action, and mind-bending twists. Horrific villains, chilling skeletons, and fantastic demon hell wenches. It keeps you on the edge of your seat, a belly full of laughter over the clumsy mini Ash's battle, a heart full of love upon the sweet smooch betwixt Ash and his lady fair, a soul full of fire during the sweeping action of a full-on castle battle sequence. When thinking of a movie that derides every aspect of human emotion while keeping in step with the delightful Halloween traditions that this month, unlike any other month, is deeply entrenched in the hearts of every human being. That joy that swells over a skeleton or a zombie, mayhaps a demon, or an even a hell beast evil witch. That joy that swells over a skeleton or pride and glory, the glory that shines in us upon hearing our hero's famous line after victory. Sure, there are some famous lines in history that may have held greater sway to some than others, yet this one is the highest of all. For none is greater than the utterance of our victor when he says, "Hail to the king, baby." And that movie in its entirety is what you need to be watching right now. Thank you for your time, gentlemen. Peace and love be each other. I can see the balance of my time.
Now, I did not do nearly as much preparation as Casey apparently
that threw me off. Like I muted because I knew Casey was going to come with something written because I feel like I know him well enough. No points deducted on that. Coming prepared, I love it. But yeah, I saw that and I was like, I'm sitting there talking like after you were done, and I'm like, oh, I'm muted. That's how like in depth his was. I was like, it threw me off, But do not be discouraged, Michael.
No, no, I'm not discouraged because here's the thing. I'm sure it's the same with you. At one point in my life, I could recite Army of Darkness from beginning to end.
Oh, yeah.
And that has, that's great. Army of Darkness is a great movie. Nobody's going to debate the dashingness of Bruce Campbell in this movie. This is prime Campbell right here. Oh, yeah. The problem with Army of Darkness is that it's not a horror movie. We're talking about horror movies here, and Army of Darkness is an action adventure, swords and sorcery type movie. What I'm bringing to the table today is, again, one of the most beautiful movies I've ever seen. It's set in like sort of the rural 1840s, 1850s wilderness of America. We're looking at beautiful forests, log cabins, and old style military compounds. We're looking at costumes, and this is a horror movie. We are watching a Cannibal Wendigo movie. that not many people have seen, including Mick. And I'm not going to base my argument over watching a movie for the first time, getting to experience something new, over rewatching something you've seen 50 times, because there's a benefit to both of those things. But what we're looking at here is a visceral horror, but it also has action scenes, it's got exploration, it's got fight scenes, um and again, the acting in Ravenous is top tier. Like, this isn't goofball, over the top acting. This is actual good acting. And then we have, and then we're looking at, it's just, I don't know how to explain it, and you did throw me off by doing quite so much prep. I'm used to a back and forth more than a debate.
Oh, we're coming there. We're coming. We that's the next round.
Okay, good, because maybe I will base my first round of argument over getting to experience a movie for the first time, over watching something that you've seen. And Army of Darkness, great movie. It has some scenes of horror-ish stuff, but it is not a horror movie. It's also, it's also very whimsical and light and fast. It's less than 90 minutes long. So everything moves a little bit too fast. Ravenous gives you time to soak in what's happening. It gives you atmosphere. And you want to be in that atmosphere. It's, if you watch The Real Boys, I don't like movies that waste my time, and neither of these movies do that, but one of them gives you an atmosphere that you want to be in for longer.
All right, both very good arguments. I am going to disagree on one point, just to put it, and it's because I'm going to take this because I understand the argument that it's not really hard. I personally don't agree, but I'm going to leave my personal feelings out of it and just say, because IMDb marks both of these movies as horror, with comedy, western, they have other aspects, but because horror is labeled under it, it is a horror movie. We're going to treat it as such. So you can argue the other genres that are mixed in, but we are going to say for the next round, it does count as a horror movie.
Okay.
And I only take that. That's going to be the new rule. And if IMDb says it, we'll go with it. I think that's fair. That's fair assessment. Fair.
Yes,
I agree.
Absolutely.
Okay. So you're going to kick off second round. Mm-hmm. If you came prepared with a rebuttal written down, I don't know what I'm going to do because it's a rebuttal. Say your piece, Mike. You can answer to that. And in case you will have time to rebut that as well. Rebut, whatever. You know the rules. You were saying them earlier. All right. Casey,
I'd like to thank you very much to my distinguished colleague, the Scene Snob, and once again, I respect your opinion very much, distinguished gentleman from the Real Boys.
Timeout. Kissing my ass will not get my vote.
Damn it! That was my whole second part of my argument. Was
I was just trying to be polite, man. Damn. As I subtly look into Ravenous, and although Ravenous, a fantastic film, the time I've watched it, I've seen it several times. Robert Carlyle, the acting done by him is fantastic. I think he's very good. Guy Pearce does a fantastic job. Even Arquette is decent. Neil McDonough really steals the show for me, though. Neil McDonough was special in that. My issue that I come to with this is Ravenous is a bit slow at times. I understand the idea of being able to soak and be able to eat and be able to really take in the fact that these people are eating flesh, what it's doing to them, who's a Wendigo, which you don't really, there's parts of that it takes a while to get there. It takes a spell. So yes, it is definitely it's not a bad movie. It's one that I enjoy. But I say right now, with the current shift in the political climate, Army of Darkness just feels like a much better, lighthearted movie. Don't we have enough of the idea of us eating each other and just being nasty to each other? Don't we have enough happening around the world where we just are putting each other down, ripping each other apart, tearing at each other's flesh? I think that's enough of it. I think it'd be better to just watch us tear down some skeletons, fight something evil, go up against something that's more menacing than the idea of us facing off each other and eating each other. Because really, that's just horrifying. It's just such a bad idea. I mean, it can't be healthy either. I mean, you've been going through diets and working on yourself, buddy. I don't think you should watch something that might entice you to maybe veer and get into steak or the old unrequited long pork, eh? That's, you just want to be mindful of that. So I think that it's probably more logical to just maintain something that might keep you on track, like fighting little versions of you. You know, we constantly fight little versions of ourselves. And what's more inspiring than being victorious against the little ones that are poking us with forks? So I appreciate the time, and I thank you very much, and I send the time back.
So, if I remember correctly, doesn't he eat one of him? He eats himself in that movie, and then that's when Sprouts Out and Evil Ash comes about, right?
Something like that.
So there is, in fact, cannibalism in Army of Darkness.
But it's more representative of what we're doing to ourselves. It's more like a taking parts of.
Oh no, I'm not taking. I don't want to take away from anything you just said. I just want now. I'm putting them on even playing fields.
Making it two cannibal movies now.
I'm starting to see how this could be a masterful double feature.
Showing the diversity of Army of Darkness. I mean, thank you for making my point. I appreciate
it. Not there yet, pal, because you both have me on the ropes right now. Michael, please go.
Now, Mick, I know you as a man of culture. You're a smart man. You deserve better than watching Army of Darkness. You can watch Army of Darkness anytime throughout the year. This is a month for movies not that are going to make you feel good, but are going to make you think about yourself. They're going to be introspective movie. What would you do in this situation? Would you eat the flesh of another human in order to save yourself? Because when Guy Pearce comes into this movie, he's about to die. He is given this soup that makes him stronger, and it's made out of the flesh of human beings. Now, this is giving, like I said, this is giving Robert Carlyle basically superpowers. It's giving him super strength. He heals up. Guy Pearce is cured of his hypothermia and the injuries to his body because of this, because of eating the flesh of humans. And again, we're not in it this month to feel good. This is not a feel good month. We're in this season of horror movies to feel scared and to feel bad and to take a look at the world around us. We don't want to ignore the stuff that's going on. We want to steel ourselves and be prepared for the real world. We don't want to escape it. That's just making us weak. And you are working on making yourself stronger. And that's what you need. You need to know what you have to do to make yourself stronger, not ignore what's going on and just have a fun, silly romp through, medieval times.
I will say this. Holy cow, you guys have really brought it tonight. Casey, if you have a rebuttal for that, go ahead. If not, we're going to move into...
I'd like to take my 2 minutes real quick. Now, what you see here, now the problem is the idea that all we're going to do is focus on the bad, okay? See, so when you're focusing on the bad, all you're going to do is look at the bad, okay? So we got to get out of the bad, okay? Get out of the bad, get into the good. Get into the good, watch an Army of Darkness. Okay, thank you. Send it on back.
That was not 2 minutes.
Not 2 minutes. Michael, do you have anything you want to add to that?
I'm just saying, Army of Darkness is not just is not just ignoring, you know, bad things. It's actively trying to reverse bad things, which it's not going to do. But you do want to watch this movie that makes you think, I need to make myself stronger and I need to do this. And if you can overcome mentally the hold that eating the human flesh has on you, you can get through anything. This is an inspirational movie. This is not like some sort of horrible cannibal movie. This is an inspirational tale of someone overcoming odds that they didn't think anyone would be able to overcome. He tries to make him a Wendigo like himself, but Guy Pearce overcomes it.
What are you doing? You leave him alone.
Well, I think although that is an ideal, the point is at the end of it, though, there is nothing uplifting at this point. There is nothing.
Do not tell me anything.
Like
Don't tell me that.
Like a love story that emanates from Army of Darkness. Yet something else you get. One of the many layers that we can peel back from here is the love story that not only comes in medieval times, which is tragically ripped from our hero, just taken from him. It's just a moment. But then
it doesn't, because he just leaves Sheila standing there.
Well, upon his return, he actually gets the one he wanted to be with.
Bridget Fonda?
Exactly.
Because Bridget Fonda is his girlfriend at the beginning of the movie. I don't even know who that girl is at the end.
Dying later, so it's fine.
Oh yeah, it was Bridget Fonda in the beginning when he retells.
It's Bridget Fonda who plays Linda. Yeah,
that's right.
Yeah. So he doesn't even get what he wants.
And you know what? It's great too, because you can watch Army of Darkness and you don't have to rewatch Evil Dead 1 or 2, because they give you all of that in like a 5-minute spiel. So it's like 3 movies in one.
Yeah, but it's the worst of the 3 movies.
Easy, pump the brakes.
I don't know
that
amazing. Oh, it's great. Like I said, I've seen this movie no less than 50 times. I can literally, like, I could go through. If you want, instead of watching Army of Darkness, I'll just recite the whole thing for you right now.
Let's go back and forth. I'll take the Ted Raimi lines and Evil Ash. You go.
Listen, I love to have that kind of time, but I do not. Case, you might have hurt your case with that one a little bit.
What, with Bridget Fonda? If I hurt my case with Bridget Fonda, I think you need to reconsider your life choices.
Bro. I mean, Evil Dead 2 is always...
Bridget Fonda's in the movie for 45 seconds before she gets destroyed.
Best 45 seconds. It was almost, dude, I put it on par with when she did whatever the La Femme Nikita movie was. It's right up there. Boom. Same caliber.
It was called Point of No Return.
That's the one. I believe Gabriel Byrne was in that as well.
Came out around the same time too. Mm-hmm. All right. Well, clearly our audience has chosen Army of Darkness. I am not quite there just yet.
Of course the audience is going to choose Army of Darkness. It's a comfort movie. It is a feel-good movie, but that's not what we want. We don't always need to feel good. Sometimes we need to feel bad.
I'm going to save my thoughts. You guys get like 30 seconds each. We're going to start with Michael, because Casey sort of kicked things off. Michael, final thoughts on Ravenous.
Look, I don't need 30 seconds. I said everything I need to about this movie. If you're going to watch a movie for the first time rather than watch a movie for the 50th time, you want to watch something with great acting, with great, direction, with beautiful shots. You want to watch something that's really worth watching. And, think about what you would do in these situations. So, I'm not... I mean, I said everything I have to say about this movie. This movie is great. It's beautiful. It's worth your time. And if you've never seen it, you owe it to yourself to see this movie.
Okay. Well, I do agree with that. I do need to see this movie. But I'm going to go with Casey. What are your final thoughts?
Well, I'd like to once again thank my esteemed colleagues. Both of you have been fantastic as we've been able to join in battle here and strike at each other in combat. It's an absolute pleasure to have this opportunity with both of you. In closing, Army of Darkness simply is the warm blanket we need of comfort, relaxation, consideration, and really just a good time to hold each other. What better time than being able to cuddle with something, one of the classics, one of your favorites, one of everybody's favorites. I think it's necessary at this time to actually sit there and just pull up a bowl of mashed potatoes like some old comfort food and just chow down and watch one of your favorite jams. So I hope you enjoy, and please watch Army of Darkness.
If Casey's gonna come over to your house and cuddle with you while eating mashed potatoes, like, I don't think I'm gonna be able to argue against that.
Michael, that offer is open, buddy. That's
Well,
I mean,
and
I'll sit on the couch and cuddle and watch Army of Darkness eating mashed
Nice.
potatoes.
Bro, we're in. Let's do
But
this.
not today. Not today. Today is for Ravenous.
Here's my thought. Both amazing choices. One plays on nostalgia, one plays on the fact I've never seen it, but I know it's a good movie because I've never heard a bad thing about it. And by trusted sources, and even you, Casey, admit to that.
I do really love that movie. I'm not gonna lie. When you dropped Ravenous, I was like, shut the fuck up. No one knows Ravenous. I love this fucking movie, and I have to say bad things about Ravenous? Like when you come at me with Fright Night, I was ready to tear that one apart.
Oh no, Fright Night is boring as hell.
Right?
Yeah, it is.
Fright Night would have won this one. But in fact, everybody, I choose Fright Night.
What the shit? Come on.
Shouldn't have said it. I love that movie. Okay. No. So here is my arguments against each of you in this sense.
As people?
As purveyors of these movies, that these curating these movies and bringing them to me. So only having to do with these movies. Both solid choices. Casey, I do not agree with you that Army of Darkness in that entire trilogy is the one to go to.
Yeah, I know. You're unfortunately a little broken. It's okay. I don't judge.
A little
You've
broken.
got issues. It's okay.
Evil Dead 2 are going to make the
someone
cut.
hurt you. I understand.
So what I'm hearing now is that Mick has similar taste as I do.
Mhm.
So he would probably enjoy the movie that I'm bringing to him.
Oh.
Now, but here's where I disagree with you, sir. I do not believe Halloween time is to watch movies that make you feel bad. Basically, like, I believe it is a time to watch the horror that you love, and the rest of the year is to watch all that new stuff you've never seen before. This time of year, it's that time to sit back, watch the classics, the traditions of Halloween. With that being said, that doesn't count Ravenous out. This is a game time decision, and I don't know what to choose. So I'm just going to, because there's, oh my God, I'm thinking about it. I've never seen Ravenous. I need to see it.
It's a really great movie, bro. Like, I don't even care if I lose now. You're gonna have to watch Ravenous because it's.
Now, I also agree with you. This is not an entire month for feeling bad. But what have you watched so far this year? I'm sure you've watched some classics, some feel-good, silly slasher movies. You gotta throw something with a little bit more meat in there. It can't all be silly slashers. You have to have a good movie in there every once in a while.
I agree to that, but I did just watch The Void the other day. Now, having had seen that, but it is a dark movie. All right, I got to say that I've got to leave it up to my feeling. And as much as I love your argument for it, and it's truly, I can't wait to see it. I have to go Army of Darkness on this one. I'm feeling
in your face.
I think it's also coming off of the. Oh, don't do that. It was a great argument.
I also can't argue with that, because when you brought Army of Darkness, I was like, wow, I have an uphill battle against Army of Darkness.
Not
As a
far
matter
from
of
one.
fact, Army of Darkness, I'm going to watch later this month for my daily horror movie podcast called
Nice.
Quick Cuts, and it's on the docket.
Awesome. Actually, how do we get to Quick Cuts? I want to check that out.
Yeah.
Anywhere the
Yourself.
podcasts are sold.
Okay, awesome.
And I think that's where I'm at. As soon as I heard Hail to the King, baby, I'm like, I could use some Bruce Campbell in my life.
It's that line, man. It's only Bruce Campbell that brings it in. That's what makes it. And honestly, Evil Dead 2 is the far superior of all the movies. And I do. Now that the decision's made, I can drop the bluster. I love Evil Dead 2, and it's a way better movie. Evil Dead 1's fantastic. It's got tree rape. I mean, that's just, come on. What is that? Who came up with that? And said, it's nuts.
Evil Dead 1, if you listen to Quick Cuts, it was the first day of October, and I said I usually watch all 3 of them in a row, but you forget when you watch Evil Dead 1 by itself, that movie is harrowing. That is a scary movie.
Yes,
it
is
100%.
Terrifying. Like they did some wonderful work with the special effects, with their jumps. Everything just gets you. Under the chick under the stairs, man. That one who was stuck when they locked her in there. She's terrifying in that one. The second one, she was way less scary in the second one.
Yep, and that's what you forget when you watch all 3 of them, because they get sillier as they go along. They get more lighthearted, and then by the time you watch Army of Darkness, you're like, oh yeah, the Evil Dead movies, they're just silly.
Yeah,
that first Evil Dead movie is terrifying.
It's really scary. And then Drag Me to Hell, they brought some of that scary in, and it's not, oddly enough, it wasn't a better movie, but I love it. You know what I mean? It's like, it's just
Drag
Sam
Me to
Raimi
Hell is a
hitting
masterpiece.
Yeah, it was his Opus Dei. The way Burton had Big Fish, it was just kind of grabbing everything you love about him and saying, here you go. Here's my favorite shit about me.
Agreed, right. Mick. You should watch Drag Me to Hell tonight.
Yeah, we're done with all this. Forget everything else. Drag Me to Hell it is.
I mean, at some point in that whole back and forth between you two, I'm like, so I guess I'm watching Evil Dead tonight.
You just watch everything Sam Raimi. Watch every Sam Raimi movie except Spider-Man 3. You'll be fine.
Don't worry. Actually, don't even worry about the Spider-Man movies.
Probably be safer.
Watch those in December. Watch those around Christmas happy time.
Exactly. Yeah.
Nothing
can bring you down.
I do want to thank you both. Of course, Mike Colby talked about Quick Cuts, which is a horror show you should check out. And also he is the host of The Real Boys. Very in-depth about the movies that they choose to watch on there. I have not seen a Ravenous episode yet, but maybe we will soon.
It was on my list. I had about 15 number 5s, and it was on my list of number 5s, and I picked the wrong one. I picked the wrong number 5.
I will be watching Ravenous, though. That's going to happen and it's going to happen this year. Like, it's going to happen before this year is over. I tend to like Western-based movies more in November, December, when it's getting a little colder. And I feel like that's a type of movie, especially if Wendigo is in part of it. Once it hits winter, like around Thanksgiving time, I think that would probably be a good fit.
Yeah, cool. Hateful Eight would probably be a really good primer for Ravenous.
Down for
Hateful
that.
Eight would be a good precursor to, but you don't want to watch them back to back because that'll be 6 hours of your life.
And then watch Bone Tomahawk right after, and just like,
wow,
walk into a landmine field. I do want to say congratulations to you, Case. Great arguments all around. You guys did a great job.
Michael, it was fantastic. Like I said, I'm so happy I got to share the screen with you, bro. I think you're fantastic. I love the reviews you do on Real Boys.
Thank you. And and I can't argue with the decision. Like, I would have been surprised if Ravenous would have won over Army of Darkness.
You had me there. It's just it's dark and I'm feeling light today. It went straight to feelings. That's it. Is really what it came down to.
Nothing more than feelings.
Because the new vibe really caught me, and I'm like, something new would be nice. Would be nice for the palate. But it was ultimately Bruce Campbell who brought me back around. As he should.
It's hard to argue against Bruce Campbell.
It's an easy argument for. You know what I'm
Yeah,
saying? Like,
absolutely.
it's the simplest one. It's kind of almost unfair to be like Bruce Campbell. In fact,
Yeah,
you know what? Next time we do these, I'm gonna have to take off all of the easy ones. That was a little too simple.
Yeah, I've said it. I've said it before when we're talking about Bruce Campbell movies, like because we do out of 10 reels, and anything with Bruce Campbell in it starts at a 5. Like
Right.
Congo would be a 5 if we did it because Bruce Campbell's in it, even though he's in it for 5 seconds. Maniac Cop
Love it.
2 has Bruce Campbell in it for 5
Yes.
seconds. It's a 5 because Bruce Campbell's in it.
I
He's
mean,
at the
Escape
end
from
of
LA.
Darkman for a second. And that's a 5. I mean, that would be way more than a 5 because Darkman also rules.
So where does
Yeah,
the
right.
Majestic land then? It's got to be an automatic 5. He's in it.
Well, yeah, it's an automatic 5. I mean, the worst movie, if it has Bruce Campbell in it, is a 5.
I love it. I love it. All right. Paul Dunn says he'll see you in semifinals case. Well, we don't know. We got a lot more people coming up. We'll see who lands where in the brackets when we get to the Tournament of Champions. And we're going to have a Tournament of Losers. So we're going to have you guys both back eventually in the future. And also just to have you back on.
And let's call it something nicer. Maybe not Tournament of Losers. Maybe Tournament of Winning Impaired.
I like Tournament of Losers.
Done. There it is.
I
Tournament
grew
of
up-
Losers it is.
I grew up a nerd. I have no worries about being called a loser. I've done it in my entire life.
Bro, I always say I've been called worse by better.
Hell
Can't
yeah.
call it real combat and then just shy away from the losers part. I do want to thank you both for being on tonight. This has been fantastic. Great choices, great arguments. Thank you for the audience that took part and voted and everything else. Army of Darkness, the big winner tonight. And until next time, I'm Mick Manhattan. You can catch me on the Scene Snobs with my buddy Casey here every Tuesday night, 9 p.m. And you can check this show out on our YouTube channel. And until next time, I'll talk to you later.
This episode was rigged.
Thanks for watching, everybody. I'm Mick Manhattan, the Scene Snob, and you can check out the Scene Snobs podcast live every Tuesday at 9 p.m. Eastern, or you can check it out on any podcast platform or our YouTube channel anytime after that. Thank you to our Patreon supporters. Without you, this wouldn't be possible. If you guys want to join, check us out over on thescenesnobs.com. We have links for everything. The Scene Snobs merch store is open. You can check that out too. Links again on the site. Or like, follow, and subscribe on all of our social media. Again, head over to thescenesnobs.com.